Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first Matterport and Modena webinar for 2021. We're excited to have you all here, and we're very excited to be able to do this with you guys today. So once again, just a very big welcome and thank you for joining us. So Modena partnered with Metaport in December last year because we realized the potential of what the Matterport 2 camera has to offer within the AEC and real estate industries. So Stuart Raymond, who is our channel account manager based in London, is going to be going through his 20-minute presentation with you guys today to show you exactly what this Pro 2 camera is capable of. And also, please feel free during the webinar to type in any questions in the chat, and we'll definitely get through everything at the end of it. There will be a Q&A. Also, if there's anything of interest or you're not too sure, once again, put in anything in the chat. And yeah, so Stuart is going to be quite thorough with a lot of information. This will also be recorded, so we will be sending it to you afterwards as well for you to share with your colleagues. So yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Stuart, and thanks again, Stuart, for making time today.
Brilliant. Thanks, Nick. My pleasure. So thanks so much for that introduction. And good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to attend today's session. I'm really excited. It's our first session with Modena, one of many, I'm hoping. So we are going to look to do a series of webinars throughout each quarter. So what I would ask you to do, in addition to Nick's point around any questions you have, please feel free to type into the chat on any subject that I cover today that you want to know more about, because it's really important that we know and address, because there's a lot to take in. So yeah, my name's Stuart Raymond. So I am a channel account manager, which basically means I look after some of our strategic resellers. As Nick says, we joined forces with Modena towards the end of last year. Really excited to be working with these guys. We've been in place now for around 4 or 5 months, and absolutely we see Modena as an extension of Matterport, who have become very, experts and extended member of the family, if you like. So following today's session, by all means, go through to Nick, and I've got his address in there in a second. He will be able to put you in touch with one of the sales guys, or he'll be able to answer directly. So what I want to cover today in terms of objectives, and I hope it meets everyone's needs for the session, is a very, I guess, high-level overview of Matterport. So it'll literally be about 20 minutes, because I believe anything more than that can be quite draining. I think, you just want a bite-sized chunk to really understand just the basics of Matterport. And as I say, please don't be shy. Please type in or follow up, or even on the call, ask about any other of the topics that we cover that will be relevant for you guys to go into more detail. As I say, this is the first of many sessions that we're going to have. So what I want to cover today is talk a little bit about the industries that we serve. So, as you can imagine, we go across a whole spectrum of different industries, but we're going to cover some of the main ones just to get you thinking about where Matterport, the data, the visual tools can really be value added. I'm going to touch on the Matterport Pro 2, so our camera, if you like, and the virtual tour, tell you a little bit about what that offers. We have what's called add-ons as well. So when you take out a Matterport camera, it does require software, as you can imagine, to upload all the images and the captures that you take. We have certain add-ons, which I'm going to show you as well, things such as floor plans, as guided tours, as measurements, etc. And that really gives you, a flavour of what they are. And the two, I guess, sectors or industries that we're going to cover today are around AEC, which fits in really well with what Modena do, but also real estate. They're probably the two most relevant. But again, if we've got anyone in the audience that comes from, I don't know, insurance or hospitality, the travel sector, or any other industries that may not relate to these, let's talk about those in another session. I'm happy to do that. No problem at all. Just to set expectations, I am a commercial person, so I'm not overly technical. So I apologize if I'm not able to answer anything too technical today. But again, one of the objectives that we have is to do a more technical run through at some point with one of our technical engineers that will go through and demonstrate how to utilize the camera and all of its capabilities. So we've spoken a little bit about Modena. So again, really thrilled to have these guys working with us now. Been with them now for around 4 months. So these guys will be able to do any demonstrations that you need, any consultations, any product inquiries following today's session and moving forward. feel free to email Nick at the address there. It may be worth taking a note of that. I believe we're going to follow up and send out the presentation to everyone. So no need to take notes unless you wish to, because it's been recorded, and Nick will send this out to everyone as well with his details. So with that, let's take a look. And by all means, put any questions through to the chat. Being a typical guy, I can't multitask, so Nick will read them out at the end for me. If not, we'll make a start. So let's tell you a little bit about Matterport and our vision. So let me read the statement to you. Matterport is the leading spatial data company focused on digitalizing and indexing the built world. So the built world, if people aren't familiar with it, the best way to describe it is really as a man-made environment that includes data. So there's a lot of opportunity out there in so many different sectors that are really built towards having, visual tours, having all those types of things to really give them meaningful data to make informed decisions. So Matterport, I guess, the objective is, I think there's three objectives actually. It's to improve efficiency, it's to generate money, or it's to save money. Yes, essentially, we offer a great range of high quality visual tours, but they all need a purpose. Each of them are to do one of those three things, generate money, save money, or improve efficiencies. So as I say, Matterport turns buildings into data and actionable insights. Everything that we capture, or you guys capture, or anyone captures, it needs to be able to provide some really useful information that's going to help any of our decision makers or users have an informed decision. So we've got here the capture, which is really through the capture and the technology, the understanding, really the accuracy and detail around that, and then standardizing, connecting the buildings, the people, the services, and the industries. All those things are really what Matterport is looking to achieve. As part of Matterport, just a little bit of background info, excuse me, Cortex is our behind the scenes artificial intelligence system, if you like. So basically the processes use deep learning, and it really basically changes a 2D to create immersive 3D photography. And I'm going to show you some of that, how it works. I'm sure most people, if not all people attending today's webinar, has seen or heard some things about Matterport. And we'll look and see exactly what it can produce a little bit further on in today's presentation. Here is just a quick insight that I thought would be useful to include, and it's got some imagery there about how it shows up on the iPhone, the iPad, etc. Just to give you a flavor. You can download it as well, actually, if you've got iPhones, onto Matterport Capture as well, and that should be available on Android as well, so you can download those. So I'm going to slow down a little bit and talk through some of the industries. These are just 5 of the key industries that we serve in, but obviously it's not, there's an extensive list and it can be used for any type of scenario. But the 2 biggest industries, I say, that really what we call our bread and butter, so really what we are strongest at, is real estate and AEC. So from a real estate point of view, if we've got anyone that's interested there, as I've written here, it's ultimately about increasing occupancy, maximizing engagement from any viewers or people that are interested. It helps the estate agent earn higher commissions and essentially reduce time in the market. I've got some stats that I can possibly send out after. I think the stats were telling us that 72% of people that use Matterport have their property sold within a certain period. I think it was a 3 to 6 month period. So that's really huge and really successful. And obviously in times when we're with COVID, people can't, especially in the UK at the moment. I'm sure, I know that South Africa's in a similar situation. It's difficult to physically be present to go and view and explore properties. So by having it online, you get the same experience. So we've actually grown 500% in the last year. I mean, unfortunately, it's not great because of the reason, because of the COVID out there. But because of that, there's been a need to really offer this service to a lot of people globally. So AEC, again, very close to your guys' heart, I'm sure, is essentially around increase the build, the accuracy and speed while reducing costs. You guys know, and I'm sure everyone on this call knows, how important it is to get it absolutely spot on, to get the imagery right, to get the data right, to get the measurements right, all those sort of things, to make sure that any building, you know, that's being created or whatever is absolutely spot on and accurate. And we'll talk a little bit about that, in fact, both of those two, a little bit later in today's presentation. The next one is travel and hospitality. I mean, obviously, globally, that's taken a hit at the moment. No one's able to travel, you know. So this is why people that are in this space really would benefit now by looking at Matterport, because I don't know about you guys, but from a personal point of view, in any, you know, day and age, I would always explore on any tour operator site. I'd like to see the images. Obviously, I read the description, but I like to see the 360-degree photos, because I'm a bit spoiled in the sense that I love going for all-inclusive, and I want to make sure that I can see it looks luxurious, all those great things. Oh, it's making me think of a holiday now, but yeah, that's something that's really, really key as well. So travel and hospitality. Insurance is another one. Now, this is interesting because it's really there and it helps you adjust and estimate remotely and reduce time in the field. Insurance is key because if there is ever a claim made, but you've done your scan, you've uploaded it all and you've got it recorded, that can really help you with any insurance claims as well. We can talk about that in a bit more detail in another session, but that's something to consider as well for any insurance companies out there. Equally with facilities management, you know, ultimately what Metaport can help with is to streamline the service and the maintenance, which basically improves productivity there. So they're the 5 key areas, as I say, and we can talk about those in another session, or we can follow up with any questions that you have that you can send through. I mentioned at the beginning of today's presentation some of what we call the add-ons. So just to be clear, and apologies if people are aware of this, but I'll just reiterate it. So when you buy a camera, you need to buy the software that goes with that. And there's 4 options. I won't cover those specifically right now, but I'd urge you, when having your conversations, to speak to Nick and Caddy and the team, and they'll be able to talk you through what the different software options are. But you will need to purchase that, obviously, to capture and store any visual tours or any stills that you need. But in addition to that, and this particular one, the matter tags, is actually free that comes with it. What it basically does is it has annotations that allow you to make any comments or highlight anything as part of a picture. And I'm going to show you a live example of that shortly. But it's basically just a nice touch, an important one that you may need to write any comments. So that's a matter tag. Moving to the right here, we've got the schematic floor plans. That one's probably quite self-explanatory, but really key, probably in every sector. You need to be able to obviously have a floor plan. It's vital to have the right measurements. You know, if you're planning or organizing something, you need to have that data. It needs to be accurate. Equally with the measurements to the right as well, particularly when you're in the AEC industry or you're in real estate. You need to have the right measurements because obviously you're making plans and everything's critical that it's absolutely accurate. Moving down to the bottom left, we have the high definition photos. So these are 4K print quality photography, and you can download as many of those as you wish. I'm going to show you an example of that also. But again, that applies to any industry. They're really useful to have and really meaningful. The Matter Pack is basically a bundle of digital assets which allow you to download. So as we know, whether it's with Autodesk or any other type of partner, the Matter Pack allows you to download the OBJ and you can import it into any third-party program. So don't worry, I mean, once it's uploaded onto the cloud through Matterport, you'll then be able to access it, download it, and do as you wish with it. Put it on any websites, put it in any type of communication, etc., etc. Guided tours is a really good one, which is at the bottom right. And again, it is what it says. It allows you to put in a guided tour visual experience. This is great, especially I think the example I use a bit later is in the real estate industry. When you're showcasing a particular property, you can really have a look at that. And again, that really makes the experience come to life. It's very visual and it really helps decision makers with informed decisions. So by all means, if there's any of these that you want to learn more about, we're not going to cover them today, we can do a specific session on add-ons. Please just follow up with Nick or put it in the chat, whatever you need, if you want to learn more about these. But I'd hold fire just for the moment if it is add-ons, because we're going to show you a little bit more about each of those. Okay, I'll move on. So, excuse me. So this is the building lifestyle here. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because I think I'll let you read this in your leisure, but it's got the 6 stages or the 6 different types of experience that are really important when capturing. So if we look at design, absolutely it saves time capturing the existing sites. If it's some kind of building, it improves and gains efficiencies. And you can see there the 20 times cost savings result that we've seen from one particular partner. So that's really, really important. We then move on to the build phase, which essentially allows you to streamline the workflow documentation, the material estimation, and the stakeholder collaboration. And you can see it reduced the cost of 50% there. Promote is something that's really, really key, and a lot of people use it for this. It's essentially to boost the business revenue. So it could be like a hotelier, it could be a tour operator. It helps with engagement, visibility, high occupancy rates, as I say, if it's a hotel, and fewer days on the market. And you can see in the example there, Realty saw 50% reduction in the time to offer. That's really, really important. And then operate, so really increase the return on investment there. I'm not going to read each of these out, but you get a flavour of it there. In insure space, again, reduced inquiries and disputes with insurance companies. And then finally, number 6, repair. So that essentially reduces the time and disputes and anything around that. So in each of these, you can see where we've put examples of where it's generated money or it's cost saving, and it's really important in some of these scenarios. Again, I think we'll go through this in a bit more detail at another session. It's just to give you very high, thoughts in terms of some of the different spaces and really where you can utilize Matterport. So here we've got the different capture options. So some of you that have done your research may realize that we also work with the Leica BLK360. We also work with Insta360. We have the smartphone, and we have capture services. So let me just touch on some of these high level. So the Matterport Pro 2, which I'm highlighting here, is basically the Matterport product, and it's very high resolution. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the key points around the Pro 2 in a second. But essentially, real estate promotion, construction, insurance, and it has the high resolution accuracy of 99%. The Matterport Pro 2 is essentially great for indoors, with its infrared capability. So the only thing that we're looking to improve is basically sunlight. It's not ideal in sunlight, and that's something that we're looking to improve for the Pro 3 that's coming out. So that's a little bit about the high resolution there. I'll let you read around the BLK and the 360. And capture services is something that we're rolling out at the moment. And it's basically in key markets where we have an assigned what we call capture technician. They have the capability of capturing something on our behalf and then sending it over as well. Again, if capture services is something a little bit of interest, a little bit more of interest, we can talk about that. But let me tell you a little bit about the Pro 2 camera now, our bread and butter. So there it is. So as I say, it's great for scanning spaces of any size, for homes, apartments, hotels, commercial buildings, etc. We have a 99% accuracy rate. So that's really, really proud of that. That's really good. Photo resolution of 134.2 megapixels. And as part of that, we have unlimited 4K print quality photography. It is fast and intuitive with 3D capabilities. It takes around 20 seconds to capture per scan, if you like. So 20 seconds, and then it moves on to the next. And we're going to have a little look at that, very high level look at that in a second. In terms of the battery life, this has actually been updated. It's actually lasts for around 10 hours now. So once charged, it will have around a 10-hour capability, between 8 and 10. So it's a really good long battery life that will help when you're outside or when you're inside or whatever it is you're scanning. It will last for a long time. Most of these, I should say, require a professional or business subscription plan. So what that basically means is it allows, it goes with, sorry, the camera. And what you need to do is buy software. Sorry, excuse me, my screen froze for a sec. You need to buy software with it, and you'll be able to book the right software capability with the camera there. And we'll talk a little bit about that software option shortly in one of the next sessions. You can buy the software and it gives you the active spaces, and it also gives you, you also have the option of buying any of the add-ons that go with that. Let me move to the next screen. Okay, so design, build and operate. So this within the AEC space is really, really key. And again, I'm not going to read through each of these. I'll let you read each of the bullets in your own leisure shortly because I'm conscious of time. But basically, Matterport allows you to capture, visualize and streamline the management of complex data and data sets. And what we'll do is in the next slide, we'll just have a quick look and see exactly how it is. Now, what we've done as well is when you do get the presentation, feel free to go through here, look at the Matterport gallery. If you click on that, it will take you to see some really good, really cool stuff that we've done. I'm not going to do it right now because of time, but you can look through that in your own leisure. And here you can see here the 3D virtual tour. It's great quality and it looks as if you're literally there or actually there. So this is amazing. So this is what we call the dollhouse effect. So then if you wanted to play around with it, you can click where you want to go. I'm sort of going somewhere random here, but you get the flavor. And this would be really good for, you know, if facilities management and insurance, that type of thing as well. So let me come out of that. Again, oh, apologies. Again, you'll be able to see that in your own time. Dollhouse View, which I mentioned, which is really, really interesting and really strong for those that might need this particular view when, you know, articulating or showing a client or something, some description. It gives absolutely a different side of things there. I mentioned the unlimited 4K photos. So you can really see the quality of the imagery that comes through, and you're able to take unlimited snapshots from every angle here. And this is something that could be really, really useful for you as well. Again, if we need to learn more about that, we can absolutely look at that. The measurements here, as you can see, I mentioned that in one of the slides earlier around the add-ons. Again, for you guys, I'm sure you'll agree, it's really important to be accurate when you're demonstrating the value of when you see the data. Measurements are critical. It's got to be spot on to be able to make decisions. I mentioned the matter tag as well. So here is where you'd be able to write or make any comments, any type of messages that you really want to show or highlight when you're presenting to someone. And you can see they would just put a slight idea of exactly how that looks. And that one's free, by the way. There's no charge for this as an add-on. Okay. So for the last session, I want to talk a little bit about real estate. Because again, as we identified, I think real estate and AEC are probably the two key markets, or the two main topics, I should say, that's probably relevant to everyone today. Again, feel free to add any other industries that you want to learn more about. We can go into a bit more detail. But for real estate, it's really to help win more listings, sell faster and gain more business. That's essentially what we want to help do. Matterport truly offers a virtual open house without people having to, you know, literally visit in person. This could be a way of the future, even regardless of whether you can physically visit a property or not. And then let's just have a quick look here at an example. And you can see all of these. I won't go over this in detail. I think you get this. But if I click here, you can see the dollhouse effect again, and it's going to come in. And then you can actually look around and see, look at the quality of that, how great that is. And then obviously you can play around with that, but that's just to give a complete flavor of exactly that. And there's more examples here. Please feel free to have a look at those. And again, here we've got the virtual tour. So again, it's to make you feel as if you're actually within that space. I'll just click on it briefly. And you can see, again, comes up there, and then we can go and have a look around if we were going to, you know, take captures. So, and then there's actually someone that will, there's actually, if you click on this, there's a whole talk and session that goes into it, but let's not do that now. Okay. Dollhouse View, I've mentioned. I think you've seen the view of that. That's good. Oh, sorry, I skipped a slide there. Again, we're showing unlimited 4K photos because this is what's going to be really key within real estate. So you can see that also. Guided tours, I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. I love this one. I think it's really great, you know, for anyone, any estate agent or anyone that's responsible. As I mentioned, we have a lot of clients in this space. You can have this as a guided tour and talk through it. Floor plan, schematic floor plan, which I mentioned, really, really key as well. You know, in any space, it's really important to have that detail and that accuracy. So that really complements any visual tours or any guided tours that you have as well. And the measurements, we saw that before in the AEC space. You can measure any aspect of your house and it's all, you know, you can put it in there and it helps with any type of building, any type of insight that you need to be precise with the measurements there. And we've got the unlimited 4K photographs as well, which you've seen, but you can see there, look how amazing that is. That's one from, you know, almost like, I think it was an insurance example where you can really see before, after, have that level of detail that really helps you. And then the measurement example again. So got matter tags. We're just repeating these just to demonstrate that these are, I guess, imperative in both examples. You can use these. And that's it from me. As I say, I wanted to give you very much a high-level overview today. I hope that just whets your appetite and gives you a flavour of Matterport. But I'd be really interested to understand, you know, what you guys want in a follow-up session, and we can have one of our technical guys go through it in a lot more detail. But with that, I will ask Nick if there's any questions at the moment that we need to answer. Nick.
Yeah, so we have a question from Marco. Thanks, Marco. His question is, with the 99% accuracy, how does that translate to millimeters accuracy over a distance? I also just spoke to Monet, our technical guy. And Stuart, would you mind if I assist with that answer?
Please do. Yes, please.
Sure. Okay. So Monet has actually used the camera quite substantially. And he says that it has a 18 millimeter accuracy. That's from his experiment with as much variance of 2 meter scan. So the accuracy it's very close, but it's 18 millimeters is sort of the variance there, if that answers your question, Marco.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Nick.
And then I have a few more other questions here, which I'll leave up to you, Stuart. This one is, once I have subscribed to Metaport Professional Plan, is there a limit on how many digital twins or properties can be uploaded?
Thanks, Nick. That's actually a really good question. So the answer is no, there isn't. As long as whoever purchases the subscription subscribes to the levels. So we have 50, 100, 150, 200, and it goes on, so on and so forth. So if you were to buy, say, or purchase a subscription of 50 active spaces, as long as you don't exceed that, you'll be able to capture those and store those in the cloud. Now, in addition to that, you can what we call archive some images or some captures. So if you didn't need them live, you can archive them, but they won't show in any sites. So no, there isn't, as long as you subscribe. And I would urge whoever asked that question to follow up with the Modena team to talk a little bit about how the subscription works. But I hope that answers the question.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Stuart. And then I have two more questions that came in. So the next one is, once I shoot a property, are there any additional costs when uploading the digital twin?
That's great. So once the uploads it's been captured, it's uploaded, there are no additional costs. The only thing to consider, again, when you go through, and what happens is, just for everyone on the call to understand. So once you buy the unit from Modena, they'll guide you through your subscription options. you'll then have a unique link that you order directly. So you'll have a what's called a My Matterport account, and it's very user-friendly, very simple. You click on it, you go in, it's almost like a shopping cart, if you like. You order the space that you need, but you also have the option to order any of the, what we call the add-ons. So the add-ons, and it's clear in there what the prices are. So you may have recalled me mentioning that the Matter tags are free, but say if you needed the measurement bundle or you needed the schematic floor plans, there are charges for that. But again, it's all detailed within My Matterport, which you'll get the link for. So unless you order any of those, it's absolutely free. But I think that's a really good question. Thank you, Nick.
Mm-hmm. No problem. And then, okay, the last question that I have here is, if I decided to, this is actually a good question. If I decided to end my subscription, will the existing uploaded digital twin still be available to myself as well as the client's website?
Okay. Great question. Yeah. So unfortunately, if you do end subscription with us, it will cancel that. So that's something to be mindful of. If you want it to be live, you need to still be subscribed. Otherwise, it will cancel that. If you are subscribed, you can use it on any number of sites that you wish. But that's just something to be aware of. Now, we do have two types of subscriptions. You can pay monthly or you can pay annually. And again, you know, when you're ready to buy, speak to Nick and the team and they'll talk you through the different options. But that's a really good question as well.
Okay, great. And okay, so, all right, no other questions have come through so far.
Okay.
Yeah, great. But Stuart, thank you very, very, very much. It's always a pleasure. And for me, even though myself and Modena, our technical guy, have done so much research and learning on Metaport, there's always something new about it. And it's such an easy, user-friendly way to do amazing, amazing scan work. So I just got another question here.
Yeah.
Okay. This is also from Marco. Is it possible? Sure, Marco, I'll give you a call straight after this. Sorry.
You have to purchase.
Is it possible to have an offline conversion? Sorry, I read that incorrectly. Okay. So his first question, is it possible to have an offline conversion? Okay. And then his second question that follows that is the only way of processing the information from the camera through the Matterport cloud?
Okay, so the first part, sorry, I'm slightly unclear to the question.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question, Nick? Sorry.
Sure. The first question is it possible to have an offline version?
Oh, so, okay, I think what the question is, yeah, so you do need, if I'm understanding the question correctly, you will need Wi-Fi, access to Wi-Fi to upload. But then once that's done, you'll be able to retrieve it. But to take a live capture, if you like, you do need the Wi-Fi capability. If that's the right question, I'm not sure I've answered that correctly, but maybe you can just type in there if I haven't. And Nick, sorry, the second question was?
Sure. Thanks. Is the only way of processing the information from the camera through the Matterport cloud?
Yes. So initially, it will go through to the cloud, but you will have the capability with a Matter Pack. So that's again, we don't charge for that. You'll be able to download to any relevant third-party site that you need to. But initially, yes, it will need to be captured first in the cloud, and then you'll be able to cascade as appropriate.
Okay, fantastic. And that actually ties in with Wallace's next question. Are you able to download the floor plans created in Matterport? And is this in DWG format?
The first part is yes, you can download it. And if I'm completely honest, I'll need to take that away and check the format. But I'm pretty confident we have a lot of different ways, and it's not rigid in the way it's done. But thank you for that question. I will take it, or Nick, if we can take a note of that, and then I'll be honest. I want to make sure I'm answering that second part correctly, but I believe it should be fine. But let me just double check that. But that's a great question.
Perfect, thanks. And then we have another question here. Are the Matter Packs capable of generating geometric and topographic survey data?
Well, that's a great question. I'm going to be honest. That one's a little technical for me. Let me take that away and come back. That's a great question. Let me just clarify with someone a little bit more technical on that one, if that's okay.
100%. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, we've noted those questions. Okay, great. So we will be getting back to everybody who we haven't been able to answer live. Sheree, we will definitely get back to you with that one. And also, after I'll like I said, I'll send everybody the recording. Please also feel free to reply to me with any other questions that you may have. And myself and Stuart will answer you as quick as possible. If we can't get that right, Matterport support will be able to get back to me within 24 hours, and I'll have all your questions answered then as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nick. And thank you so much for everyone for attending. I hope that was useful. I hope it wasn't too high level, but it was just, as it's our first insight, we want to make it just understand the basics. By all means, please follow up with Nick if there's anything that you want to see more of it. There was a lot of questions around add-ons and subscriptions. So, please feel free to message Nick and we can organize the next webinar and go through to the guys there. They're experts in Matterport and they'll be able to help you. But I want to thank everyone for taking this sort of a little bit over time, but sort of 40 minutes or so just to really go through this. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Stuart. And then just to quickly follow up on Peter's question, we do actually have the new camera available at our offices in Rivonia. We currently have 5 available, but yeah, I will also pop that information in the email that I'll be sending everybody with the recording. Thanks for the question, Peter. Version 3, sorry, when is version 3 coming out?
Oh, good question.
Sorry, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's in progress at the moment, and I'm going to do that annoying thing that everyone does. I can't commit to a date at the moment. We've got an internal date, but it's still in the process. So we will communicate when we can on when that's coming out. But I would say at the moment, if there's any thoughts of waiting for the Pro 3, I would say don't wait for the moment because it's not imminent, to be honest.
Great. Great. Thank you, Stuart. Sure. If there aren't any more questions, then I just want to say thank you to everybody for spending the morning with us and enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope load shedding doesn't get you too badly, or if it has, luckily it's over. I know from our side, we've had it early this morning, so we were able to do the presentation without worrying. And as mentioned, I will be sending everybody the recording along with as well as a bit more information about Matterport and links to our website, as well as a few more other things. Thank you so much once again, Stuart, for a very informative webinar this morning. And yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Cannot wait. Thank you all so much.
Great. Thanks so much, Stuart. And thank you, everybody, for attending. Have a great day further.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks, Nick.
Cheers.